I like it neat. I like it with water. Is it uber complex? No. You know, I mean, it's missing some of that depth and character, but it's definitely a different style of peat than you normally get from like an Isla.
What is up?
Hey guys! It is Scotch for Dummies.
Four guys on the Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase. Maybe the week of Peat, if you
It
like.
could be the week of Peat.
Not
The week of Peat,
but the week of Peat.
Peaky.
The week of Peat.
Okay.
So we don't know exactly why they changed the name from Peat Week to the week of Peat, but this is probably my wheelhouse.
Shouldn't it be technically the year of Peat because they only do it like once a year? Isn't that right?
Well,
They
no.
But then they would be doing it all year,
Yeah.
Okay.
which we may not mind. I don't know.
Okay.
So Balvenie back in the 40s or 50s decided to do some peat into some of their stills, and everybody in the distillery complained about it. So they said, no more. So they stopped doing it.
Nine.
The distillers, the mash men,
Nine.
especially the mash men, was apparently when you mash up peated barley, it's like, woo, bad. So,
Where do I sign up?
so they stopped doing it.
It's like after
Guys
Mark
in
having
Iowa
sauerkraut.
don't
Oh, bunting.
I
What?
love me some cabbage.
Yeah.
So in
It's
2002,
true.
Balvenie decided to do another week of peat. So they clean out all their equipment and they bring in barley that's
Pour that some of them, Mark.
been dried over Speyside peat. So this isn't Isla peat. This
Speyside.
isn't New York peat. This isn't
New York Peat.
England peat.
New York
California
City.
peat. No,
New York
they
City.
take their peat from Speyside. So it's going to be typically more heathery, more light, more flowery, as opposed to like charcoal like you sometimes get in some of the Islas. That's their design. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to find out how that worked in the whiskey.
So this would be more of like something that they would have had back in the day, right? I
Yes.
mean, back when they first started distilling in that region, they would have used peat probably,
Yeah,
or at least some of the distilleries would have to dry out their malt.
It was an easy source of energy to help dry the barley after it's been germinated. So once
It's like, yeah, germinated.
yeah, so once it's germinated, they gotta dry it out
Whoa,
and
hello.
then break off the germination
You will like. You will like.
and dry it all out and then they grind it up. So
Now, I know this is technically a different name, but would this be fair to say this is a re-review? Because we did it 2 years ago. We did the
I
Peat week?
think
But
it
it's
is.
it's
The
really
14
a
year.
different batch though.
Oh,
I mean, they
completely
only do it
different
once
batch.
a year, so I mean, similar but not the same.
okay.
is-
So
is
same
how I would-
idea, just okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. So, Mark, you might smell something on this one.
I'm gonna try it. The Balvenie
Sweet.
Master Malt Master.
It's interesting because it's almost like a campfire smokiness. It's almost like dry is the word that comes to mind when I smell this. When I think about Isla peats, they're very heavy and very like almost a cloak of smoke. I mean, they're very dense. Whereas this smells a little bit lighter, and I associate it with like a campfire smoke, like a whiff of smoke. You're getting it, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah, it's almost Lafroy quarter cask on
there's
the
something
nose
there.
Yeah.
because it's got that sweet, really vanilla sweetening on the nose with that little bit of that fire smell to it, but nothing.
The
not
vanilla's
super. Yeah,
no.
it's
Yeah,
more
that's
vanilla.
that's what I'm
definitely
getting
there.
like. But I'm getting like shellfish and stuff on it too, a little bit.
Shellfish. Okay.
Just a little bit of oysters are kind of
What's the ABV on this?
48.3%.
That's true.
Wow.
Price?
$87 is what we paid.
It's, I mean,
Short finish.
That's well done.
it's interesting because it's got.
He says that's well done. Done.
It's almost like a dish that you bake together that all of the ingredients kind of come together and form the whole. Because it's got the smoke and it's got the vanilla, but they mesh very nicely together. And nothing is like really overpowering, but it's very well done.
It's pretty sweet though.
It is sweet.
It's-
I get
it's
lots
got
of
nice sweet
vanillas.
notes.
Lots of vanillas coming through.
Oak? American oak barrels here? What are you?
Probably.
Probably it's ex-bourbon barrels.
That's what I would guess that based on the taste so far.
A sweet, smoky, and fragrant expression.
I will get behind that.
That's what it says.
I will say the second sip, a lot more of the sweet coming through.
Exactly. Almost cloyingly sweet on the finish, or on the early finish.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised because the first sip, it was
Much better than
the
the second
smoke came over a little bit harder.
Let me try
this
that.
time, the second sip, the sweetness came through a little bit more.
Maybe Peat's pretty good
Like
too.
vanilla and like almost like cotton candy. I mean,
It is.
it's got
It
a
does.
sweet like punch to it, and then the smoke kind of takes over and finishes it
Cotton
out.
candy is a good word
It's
for
like
this.
almost like, so burnt caramel can taste bad, but it's got that rich, sweet caramely flavor with just that edge of peat on top of it. It's really, I mean, it's balanced pretty well.
Yeah, because you could easily overdo one or the other. I think on this, and it's pretty well done. Like that, it's kind of riding the edge of little sweet, little smoke. It's nice.
And it's not too disjointed. I mean,
That's what I'm
it's
trying
nice.
to find. That's what I'm trying to analyze
I'm
now.
not feeling like. I mean, the only thing I will say, the finish is short.
Mine isn't.
Mine
No,
is. Mine,
I mean-
mine kind of hits nice and then it just drops.
I would say
I don't
it's.
chew on it.
I get that peat finish that kind of
I would think it's a mid finish. It's not short, but
It's a sweet.
it leaves a little earlier than I may want it to.
You got much? Anything?
I got a little bit of peat on the nose, a wee bit. I wouldn't be able to tell you that it was this. Honestly, it reminded me of Ardbeg, but it's so faint I can't put anything on it. And on the palate, no. I mean, the alcohol is very approachable. It's not like it's knocked me out. It seems rich. It seems like there's something there, but I'm not getting anything. I mean, honestly, the most of my smells and tastes that I get right now are all out of memory.
Yeah.
Don't have any memory of this guy.
This tastes like delicious Scotch.
Amen. That's exactly what I'm
better
thinking.
taste like.
So no, I'm just taking in what you guys are smelling.
So it's 48% ish, $87. Let's just say between $80 and $90 in the market right
Price.
now.
I mean, it's an age statement.
Yeah, it is 14 years.
You know what's
So,
funny?
that's nice.
Did you put water on it?
Not yet.
So neat, to me, you had the sweet and the smoke kind of holding hands going
Yep.
all the way through. With the water, it's sweet up front, and then the sweet fades, and then the smoke takes over and carries through. Is that
So it
is.
disjoins it.
It does disjoint it a little bit.
it's
Yeah.
weird.
It's a better neat so far.
The sweet disappeared.
I mean, I don't
the
think
palate.
I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's kind of surprising that like I really didn't get any of the smoke on the front palate when I first took a sip with the water on it. It
Totally
was,
true.
It's all the sweet up front. And you're like, oh well, maybe the smoke isn't going to be there anymore. And then the sweet calms down and the smoke builds up, and I mean it's still hanging out. It's got a nice long
I had the
lingering finish.
exact same response. You take that first sip and you're like, where'd the smoke go? And then, here it comes.
It builds back like you don't even see it coming. It's very strange.
It is. I don't know. I don't know if I like that though. That's what it's interesting. I
Got
need
too
to.
much water on it.
I need to think. Well,
There's plenty of
top it
whiskey there.
off. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying this glass. I mean, I enjoy it neat
Go ahead.
with water.
Yeah, talk me
All right,
through it.
man. So, it's a peated whiskey from a non-peated distillery, and so obviously they've been doing this since what 2002. So I mean, they've got some practice in on it. But it's 1 week a year. So, there's going to be some things about it that, maybe they don't get quite right because they're not used to doing this particular style of whiskey. But I think this is very well done. The sweet and the smoke are there together, and they're pretty harmonious. I mean, even with the water, I didn't feel like it was like odd. It was just kind of surprising that the smoke built up on the end and I didn't see it coming. So I like it neat. I like it with water. Is it uber complex? No. I mean, it's missing some of that depth and character, but it's definitely a different style of peat than you normally get from like an Isla, right? I mean, it's more akin to like a Wolfburn or something along those lines where it's a northern peat. It's a little different style. And it's got some peat to it.
Oh,
So it's not
no
like
question.
a peated whiskey that some distillers will put out and it's like in a peated cask that had peated whiskey
For
in
2
it, so
days.
it's got like a hint. Like there's something in
True.
this glass.
Good point.
So I think that they've done a pretty good job. I don't find anything that's off-putting about it. What would we say? $89?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
85,
if you're looking for a peated whiskey and you want to try something different, I think it's well worth the money. I'm going to give it a 3. I think it's nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. You know, if you go back and review like 2 minutes in, the first sip, I'm like, that's well done. And just
You
first
did say
sip,
that.
I didn't, no analysis, no discussion. I'm like,
Wheelhouse.
good,
I like
good job.
this.
So as we walk through that, I think you're right. It carries all the flavors all the way through. I think when you add water, they start to kind of move around, and sweet. The caramel hits you first, then that fades away to the smoke, and then the long finish, they come back together. So I say that they do that really well. I like that. This is definitely a 3. What would make it a 3.5 or something better? I don't like that there's a bit in the palate there where you almost have nothing. It does have to kind of change throughout that. I don't particularly like that, but this is a solid 3. $85, $90 for this 14-year-old. The whiskey tastes great. It's definitely peated. There's no hint of it. It's peated all the way through. Yeah, I'll go with 3.
It does not say anywhere on
Yeah,
there
3.
natural color, non-chill filtered. But I gotta say
It's
48%. It's non-chill filtered. I mean, why would they do that? And again, why would they add color? I don't know though. It doesn't say it. And I don't have the can. It might say it on the can, but anyway, not to cut you off, bud.
So, I'm struggling a little bit with this one, guys, because I'm between a 2.5 and a 3 right now. What's a normal 14 go for these days? It's around $60,
No.
Depends on the distillery.
Depends on the distillery.
But it's
So name some other 14s. Glenlivet's got
Glenfiddich's got a 14, the bourbon cask.
Yeah.
The Glenmoe's,
Yeah, that's what I was
Quinta
thinking.
Rubin.
Right.
That's probably around the same price range, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be right close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
All right, so for the age, it's appropriately priced then. It's fair to say.
I think
I'd
so.
say.
amongst its peers.
Okay. I'm trying to be fair here because I do enjoy it. It's a little too sweet for me for the peat aspect of it. I mean, it's literally like taking a campfire, smelling it, chewing on it a little bit, and then eating a big ball of cotton candy. It's almost too sweet for me. The water did not help at all, and I think that I put too much on it. Maybe it's just what I did. I added some more whiskey to it, and it didn't really help still. But I really enjoyed the first 2 sips of it neat, so it was good. A little too sweet for me, but I think it's well done. To what your points, what you're saying, especially from a distillery that doesn't normally do peat, I think they did a good job, and it is a unique peat versus the ones we normally get.
Yes.
So I give it credit to that. I think they did a good job. It's a quality dram. It's worth the price, especially with a 14-year-old and everything else. I'll give it a couple extra knots for that, and the taste is pretty good. I'm gonna go with a 3 as well. I think it's solid.
All right.
There
He
you
talked
go.
himself into that. I
Man,
didn't
we're
think he
starting
was
to think
gonna-
alike. I don't know. That's dangerous.
I know.
So 3s.
I think 3 are around. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's worth it. I think it's worth to pull the trigger for it if you like sweet peat. If you want a smoky peat, this is not going to be.
Well,
a flavor.
if you like, you got to like peat because there's no hinting at it.
No,
like,
it's there.
Boom.
But I think it's a different style. So I think if you're
Exactly.
big into Isla Peats, this gives you a different reference point.
That's what I like
guess.
about it. It's
So
just-
it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
agree.
also it's more peaty than like your Highland Park, right?
Oh,
by a
yeah.
long
Oh
shot.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is you got to be a peat head.
No,
to
this
like-
is
more like a
definitely for a
Wolfburn.
peat head. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Love
Wolfburn is
it.
a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of those guys.
Wow, man.
All right.
Anyway.
There you go.
3 all the way
3
around.
all the way around.
3s and a
Balvenie, Week of Peat.
Week of peat.
week of peat, not cheap.
Guys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Bye.
man.